Hello and welcome back. It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker. And in today's video, we are going through the Benign challenge. This is a part of the security information and event management module of the SOC Level 1 pathway in TryHackMe. And we have done all of these tasks, and there's videos on all of these tasks, or all of these rooms, I guess. And now we are going into the last one, which is the Benign challenge, which means that there is a compromised host that we're trying to essentially uncompromise. And yeah, that's kind of the task of the day, the mission of the day. Before we jump into this challenge, I invite you to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time a video comes out. And even if you could drop a comment, all of those things actually help the YouTube algorithm to find our channel and to help more people just like yourself who are trying to learn about ethical hacking and cybersecurity and penetration testing. And as an extra benefit, which probably is the primary benefit, you'll actually get notified the next time a video comes out. And if you're studying for any of those paths, then all of these videos will actually be helpful to you. Things like using Splunk to do investigations and fix compromised hosts, so on and so forth. All of these actually directly apply to the examinations that you would take for CompTIA CYSA Plus or the Pentest Plus or the job that you would do as a security analyst. So it would be a win-win situation in my humble opinion. Without further ado, let's jump into the introduction isn't really anything crazy. You just need to make sure that you start the Splunk server. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to start up. And you all need to start the attack box as well, which is the blue button in the corner. And then when you do that, the thing starts up and you can get access to it via the browser of the attack box. So in this case, it's the Firefox browser. And so this is what the browser actually looks like. And this is what we're here. This is the dashboard of Splunk. And the scenario is like this. So it says one of the clients' IDS, intrusion detection systems, indicated a potentially suspicious process execution, indicating one of the hosts from the HR department was compromised. Some tools related to the network information gathering scheduled tasks were executed, which confirmed the suspicions. Due to limited resources, we could only pull the process execution logs with the event ID 4688 and ingested them into Splunk with the index win event logs for further investigation. What we know about the network is that this is the IT department, the HR department, and the marketing department. And we're just gonna kind of get into answering these questions. So the very first one is asking us how many logs are ingested for the month of March 2022. And so we're just gonna run it basically. So we need to go into the index for win event logs and then look at March 2022. So you go into Splunk right here for the search, and then we can go into index equals win and then event logs. It's right there. So we're gonna do that and just press this timer right here. And then we can go to date range at the bottom, and then we can actually verify what we want. So we want between February and March of 2022. So I'll just do this. I'll do 03/01/2022, and then I'll come all the way over here, and we will do 03/31, I think is how many days are in March, right? Yeah, okay, great. And whoops, there's that. And we're gonna apply this. And so now we got that, and then we're going to search. And just like that, we have our logs. And just for the March of 2022, there were 13,959 events. So that's the first answer. The next one is the impostor alert. So there seems to be an impostor account observed in the logs. What is the name of the user? And if you remember from the last one that we saw, an impostor account is essentially going to look like any of these guys, but there's probably going to be a letter that's different and so on and so forth. So we got to try to find what the user IDs or the imposter accounts might look like. So let's see what we can find in our interesting fields here. Okay, so straight from the get, you can see that we're supposed to have a Diana. And then when we go and look at the usernames right here, there's somebody called Dana. And so Dana doesn't seem to be the correct spelling. So I'm just going to say that it's Dana who is the imposter account. Or, well, so let's see. Diana? Huh. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so if we do a quick little search by username and we just create for the table username and then the dedup, and I just found this on Google. I think it just helps to get the organization of this. So what it does, it brings the statistics up for us. And Dana, although it is misspelled, is not as bad as Amelia with the number 1 instead of the I right here. So in this case, it's probably Amelia. So if we just go here and do AMEL and then the number 1 A, that's going to be our imposter. Okay, so from here, it says which user from the HR department was observed to be running scheduled tasks. So now we're going to go and look at that. So now we're going to try to find that out. And so we can go back and do a little thing right here. And then just from the get, we want to find running scheduled tasks. So we can look at the command line potentially. The event ID is all going to be the same, so that's not going to change. But we do want to find something that has to do with running scheduled tasks. So let's see what we can find here. So the first step in that part of the search is going to be searching for just scheduled tasks inside our index, and it brings up 87 events. And then we have the username field, and there are 4 usernames that show up in here. We have James, Moyne, Katrina, and Chris Fort. Chris Fort has ran it once, and the command line is create an office updater for Chris and see on start. And then so if we just change that, so if we go back and try to find what the other types of commands may have been that were run by the other users, we can try to kind of narrow it down. Although I feel like it is Chris Fort already. And then we can just see what's going on over here. And there's now 4 command lines for, what is it, Katrina. And so query list, delete something, and then change something. And then the first one, there is no value for the command line, so there's no command line execution, and that was Katrina. And then what we can do is go back one more time and look at Moyne and see what the command line for Moyne was, which is the enables, so automatic updates, query and deletion. And then we can do the last one, that was, I think, James. And if we look at James's command line executions, it'll be a change that was enabled on automatic updates, query, and then delete. So the only person that actually had a start was Chris Fort. So if we click on this one more time and go to Chris Fort, we can see that he only ran one command, but the command was create office updater, yada, 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 and then start, on start. And so if that's the thing right here, and we have the command line right here, which he's creating something. So the other ones were like more updating things or deleting things or querying something. This is a new process that's been created, and it's being done on start. And so Chris Fort is most likely, and I think it is because they already kind of give us that hint on the syntax, like the format of the name. So now, which user from the HR department executed a system process called lolbin to download a payload from a file sharing host? And it says explore lolbasproject.github.io to find binaries used to download payloads. So let's see if we can do a search for lolbin and see if anything comes out from that, and then we can just go search the GitHub for binaries. All right, so nothing comes up in lolbin for the search for lolbin. So now we can go to this particular GitHub and see if we can actually find something that would be relevant as far as binaries are concerned. And there is a lot of binaries here, buddy. So the specific binary that we're looking for to download a payload from a file sharing host. So let's see what we can do for downloading a payload from a file sharing host. Okay, so doing a simple search for download inside the page contents shows 46 results, and it could be really any of these. So it kind of takes a little bit of finessing to go through some of these things and I guess search for them one by one. So I will do some searching and see what we can find with any of these binaries here. All right, so now doing a search in our event logs. So the table command, I just verified. The table command just shows up as table version of all the results with whatever field you want to look at. So the process name, the command line executed, and the username. And then dedup actually removes the duplications. So D is delete, and then dup is for duplication. So delete any duplicate process names that would show up. And so now we have this little organized thing, which gives us about 178 results out of everything. And so I organized by the command line to just show everything that actually had a command line execution. And then just based on the results that I saw from the thing right here, there's one immediately towards the top that is called cert utility. And cert utility has been used to download things, and it can be used to download things. And then so now we have a command line right here that looks very, very suspicious if you kind of think about it. So they use cert util, the URL cache, and they downloaded it from this thing, and they saved it as benign.exe, so benign executable, and that's like a big hint right here. The name itself is probably going to be different for a lot of people, and then control C kind of could be control center maybe, or command and control, something like that. So there's a few hints inside this that makes it super suspicious. And then so we have cert utility that's been used to download. Benign itself just as a name, it's the room name, and a lot of things about it just seems suspicious. And the username for this is Haroon. So we're going to go and type in Haroon here, and we got it right there. So okay, to bypass the security controls, which system process from lolbin was used to download a payload from the internet? And I believe that's certutil.exe. And there we go. And what was the date that the binary was executed by the infected host? So now that we know that the username was Haroon and the executable was certutil, we can just search for that. And now we have the one event that ties to. And so there's the event time, which is our date. So it says 3/4/2022, so March 4th, 2022, and they want it to be 2022-03-04, like that. So there we go. Which third-party site was accessed to download the malicious payload? And from what I remember, it was controlc.com. And then what is the name of the file that was saved on our host machine? And that was benign executable. And the suspicious file downloaded from the C2 server contained malicious content with the pattern yada yada yada. So what is the pattern? So now we got to go and look at this suspicious file that was downloaded, which is actually the file at this thing. So we're going to go to this location and see what that file is. So let's see that. I could just do open link in new tab probably. You know, just open it up inside our thing right here. We just agree, that's fine. And nothing exists here. Okay. Okay, so the actual URL that they're referring to is the right answer. So I was able to actually paste this in here because they were asking as the last question, what's the URL that the infected host connected to? But when you go to this URL, it is a dead page because I think it was removed or something at some point. And so the answer for that part is no longer here. And the only way that I was able to find it is to actually just look up a previous write-up for this room for somebody who had already completed it, to see if we can pull the flag. And that is indeed the case, because it's literally the same thing right here. So they actually use the same URL that we just used. So all of this is all good, and it shows that the connection was made to this thing. So this is the flag that we're looking for. Unfortunately, this doesn't exist, because when we go to that link, this is not the results that we get. So we don't get this as the link response. We only get it from somebody who had previously written it up. And I mean, you're literally seeing me go to the actual link itself. So this is kind of the challenge that we are dealing with at the moment, and that happens to be the only way that we can actually pull this answer. So the issue, excuse me, the issue in this particular case is that that link is a dead link. So if this happens to you, where you're trying to go to the specific link that's inside the URL, because there's only one execution here that uses cert utility to download something from the URL. That's the only URL. There's no other information that we have on this apart from that URL. So even if when you look at the raw text version of this, it also doesn't give us anything apart from this URL. So that's the only way that I was able to find the information for the flag, unfortunately. So just in case you're running across it and you can't find the answer, and you're going, you're bashing your head against the wall, which is what I did for a few minutes here. That's actually how you find the answer. So that's pretty much it. And just like that, we were able to finish the Benign challenge for Splunk. And we are now one of the people who actually ended up completing the room. So it should be pretty exciting to go through. And now we have access to the finished lab right here. So there you go. And just like that, the room is wrapped. And if you learned anything from this, if you took away any takeaways or any answers, or if it helped you go through this room, or if it helped you learn from Splunk, so on and so forth, please go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on notification bell, and drop a comment. When you do those things, two things happen. Number one, you help the Google, well, Google owns YouTube, so that kind of works. But the Google and YouTube algorithm, they give us our channel a little bit more reach, and it actually helps us to expand the community and help other people just like yourself who are studying cybersecurity and pen testing and ethical hacking. But the more important thing is that when you subscribe and turn on the notification, you actually get notified the next time a video comes out. And if you're studying for any of this stuff, then all of these things are applicable to your studies as well as your day-to-day job as a security analyst, incident response person, pen tester, so on and so forth. So it's a win-win situation if there ever was one. It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker, and we just wrapped the Benign room. I feel like this is kind of annoying that everybody else who finished this room only got 300 points, and whoever this person is up here ended up getting 800 points. So I don't know why that is that they got 800 points. I am kind of upset about it. I want to know who it was and why they got so many points. I almost have a the urge to write TryHackMe and be like, what the hell, you guys? But anyways, we wrapped the room, and I hope you learned from it. Peace, love, and chicken grease. If no one else loves you, Hank loves you, and I will see you in the next room. Later.